to the Daddy Issues podcast with Danny D, where we take a deep dive into the everyday lives of men who are fathers and husbands, their day-to-day struggles with mental health, fatherhood, finances, fitness, and how they build and maintain healthy relationships on a daily basis. So join us each week as we interview different men and get their perspectives on different topics, and also what they feel like they have to do every day to become the best version of themselves. So, if you're not too busy, let's get started. Thanks for joining another episode of the Daddy Issues podcast. I'm your boy, I'm your host, I'm Danny D. Nice to see you guys here, man. Nice to see you, as you can see. I love being able to say that, man. Nice to see you. This is our second video podcast, man. We did one. We got a pretty good response to that. You know, we got some productions going, man. You see, I got the little neon light, little purple rain prints popping off. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and don't get me wrong. Like I said, man, I enjoy doing the podcast, the audio version. It's a lot easier for me, a lot less pressure. But I feel like we can be reaching a lot more people with our messages and our talks, and because it's just a talk, really, man. It's me and it's you, and we're sitting down having a great conversation. And I think a lot of other people need to be included in on the conversation, or at least made aware of it. That way they can get in and they can do some talking themselves, right? So before we get started, I want to let you know that we're on every platform right now, man. We're finally on every platform, which is Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify. Man, we're everywhere, man. We're like a little creepy stalker, man. You look around and guess who's there, man? Daddy Issues. So, you know, there's no excuse. Listen, come here. Come here a little closer. Little bit right there. Listen to my fucking podcast, man. Y'all starting to piss me off with that. Listen to my podcast. Share that shit too. Stop listening to my podcast and then getting a good message from it and then be like, oh man, this is great. I'm gonna improve my life, but I'm not gonna help anybody else. Help everybody, man. Share my shit. Oh no, back up. Get out my face, man. Damn. Get out my face. No, seriously, good morning, man. Before we get into our emails, because we got a great email today from somebody named Patricia. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. You know, we want to get into our little affirmation. Somebody emailed me the other day and was like, just fucking going off on me. Like, those are not affirmations. Affirmations are not those, and I know these. And she gave me like a list of affirmations and everything, man. She was heated, man. She was fucking mad. She was boiling. But I think I prefaced that. Like, it's not really, I guess, technically an affirmation, because I do know what affirmation is. Like when you're standing in the mirror and you're saying positive things. Thoughts become things. You're saying positive things about yourself, you know, trying to work towards that self-improvement. It's just me telling you positive things, which we're going to get into right now. Guess what? You're beautiful. You're cold, man. You're frozen. Look at you. You're fine. You're handsome. You over there, you're a handsome guy. And I'm not in the business of telling guys they're handsome, but you, man, you something else, man. You got that style. You got that flair, man. Look at you. I bet you got to beat them women off with a stick, my boy. You looking good. And I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of you, too. I'm proud of both of you guys. You made it. You woke up this morning and you're standing on your own 2 feet. I'm proud of you. Hey, welcome to the show. So, again, I don't know if you went and heard the last episodes. The last episode, I believe, was working from 9 to wine. Man, that's cold, man. That's a cold title. I know. I like it. Working from 9 to wine. It was pretty much, you know, really quick, just about a gentleman he called in, and he had a good relationship. He had a positive relationship. But his wife, man, his lady, his woman, his main thing, his main squeeze, his sweet pea, she don't want to work, man. She don't want to work. She don't want to bring in no bacon. This guy's out there like a Hebrew slave, working, sweating, trying to bring home the money, man, to support the family. And he just needed a little bit of help. That's what he needed, just a little bit of help. So he wrote in, man, and he just wanted to know if anybody else was going through that problem. I haven't gotten around to all the emails from yesterday, but some people did write in with some advice for him. So I'm probably going to drop that information Hopefully he's tuning into this podcast, and he got something from the last podcast, and he's not just fuck that guy. I hate him. I hate him. He's not nobody. All right. So let's get into the email of today. Okay, let me pull it up. Wait, before I get into the email, man, I want to do a little AMSR for you. Yeah. Get my drink, man. Let me get my drink. Look at this. This is one great thing about videos. This is how they do it. They get like, they talk real low, like, hey, today. Then they tap the cup. Today, we're going to be eating Popeye's chicken and drinking cold lemonade. Come on, get out of here. I want you guys to hear me drink it. Hold on. That's sweet, man. I'm about to start me like a little ASMR page. I hope I'm saying that fucking name right. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So, here's the email. Hi there. I'm Patricia, a 37-year-old woman who's been wrestling with some pretty heavy thoughts lately. You know that feeling when you just can't shake the nagging voice in your head telling you you're not good enough? Well, that's where I'm at right now. Despite my best efforts, I can't seem to escape this constant feeling of being fat and ugly. It's like these thoughts have taken a residence in my mind, and no matter how hard I try to evict them, they just won't budge. I've been tuning into your podcast for a while now, and I've always appreciated the honesty and support you offer to listeners. So I figure why not reach out and see if you have any advice for someone like me who's struggling with image issues. I know I'm not alone in feeling this way, especially as we're bombarded with unrealistic beauty standards every day. But I'm tired of letting these negative thoughts dictate how I feel about myself. I want to find a way to challenge them and start feeling more confident and comfortable in my own skin. If you or any of your guests have been through something similar and have found ways to cope or even overcome these feelings, I'd love to hear about it. Whether it's practical tips, mindsets, shifts, or just knowing that others have been there too, I'm open to any advice you can offer. Thanks for providing a space where we can talk about these things openly. Your podcast has been a source of comfort and inspiration for me, and I'm hopeful that with a little support I can start to turn things around and feel better about myself. Take care, Patricia. Patricia, that's a beautiful email. It's a beautiful email. Absolutely stunning email. And I appreciate you writing in, trying to get some advice from a bozo like myself and these other rugrats on this podcast. No, I'm just joking. I feel like we all have insights that we can provide. And you know what? It's always a good thing, man, to hear from your peers, right? Hear from somebody who's going through the same thing. I think that's I think we should seek out that. I think we should really, crave that and look for that, because it's cool to hear information or hear a story from somebody that's in a high position or a great position or a positive position who's done a lot in their life. That's great. I do the same thing, like with motivational videos and stuff like that, when you're listening to them and you're loving them, right? But it's always better to just have that home cooked conversation with the person who's going through exactly what you're going through, right? Somebody you can absolutely relate to, somebody that's actually obtainable, somebody you can get information from, somebody that you can reach out and touch. So I always appreciate when people write into the podcast and they ask for advice, not only for me because I'm just a man, just a platform, but other people out there, man. I'm like just a go-between, right? A connection. So somebody that you really need to hear from can connect with you and send you some information. Speaking of that, if you want to write into the podcast and you have some questions you would like answered, just some overall advice, you can reach me at dadissuespodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's dadissuespodcast@gmail.com. So let's get into this email, right? First and foremost, I think you got to look at self-esteem overall, right? Because it's a social construct, right? It's something that I believe that society has created for us, right? Everybody wants to feel a certain way about themselves, right? But that's how far it used to go. You just wanted to feel good about yourself. You wanted to feel, you wanted to be able to go through the day feeling positive, right? But years and years pass, and society has created this construct where it's almost like verbal abuse, right? Oh, if you're overweight or you're out of shape, they're body shaming you, and oh man, you're a fat piece of trash, and this and that, and it's fucking terrible. And then like now you got a lot of which I don't want to support being unhealthy, right? Because I think that's an important thing. Yeah, I'm going through that myself. Like I'm working out, trying to find time to be able to work out and get healthier every single day. So I don't want to support people being unhealthy, right? If you're overweight or you're out of shape, try your best to change something in your diet, change something about what you're doing every single day that got you into that position. All right. Don't just sit around and be like, hey, it's cool. It's cool to be out of shape and sick and unhealthy. Like, cause it's not at all. And this is coming from a fucking fat guy. Cause I'm, as you can see, because we're on a video podcast, I'm not the most in shape guy, right? I'm working on it. I'm trying to be healthier, as my fucking hat says. I need more wine. But I just wanted to digress and go to that because I don't support being unhealthy, right? I don't support body shaming because if somebody is out of shape or they're unhealthy, it's a good thing if they try to get healthy. But at the same time, we don't need to shame that fucking person and tell them like something that they already know, right? So, anyways, back to self-esteem. It's like society has made this, I don't know, this fucking torture chamber, man. And that's just not with weight. That's with anything. Like, you're constantly getting hit with ads and, like, say that you have acne. Because a lot of people have acne, and they're just showing, like, videos of people, like, having the most terrible fucking lives. Like, oh, my God, I got 2 bumps on my face. It's leprosy. Don't look at me. I'm a monster. Like, come on, man. Like, then right after that, they show you, like, the miracle treatment. Like, oh yeah, use this miracle treatment and you'll have it. Then they show you like the little video of like the girl, the guy, the fucking sun shining down on them, right? Somebody throws them like a ball, they catch it and they just smile. Like, come on, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? I honestly feel like people would still suffer with self-esteem issues, but I don't think it would be as dramatic and traumatic as it is right now if it wasn't like socially unacceptable, right? Because a lot of people get their information and they get their opinions and things like that off of social constructs these days. Like even this, like a podcast, like people writing in, looking for advice. I think that's one of the main issues with people having, and we're talking like specifically to you at this point, Patricia, with self-esteem issues, is that like we're relying too much on other people's opinions about ourselves. Think about that. When you really think about that, we're relying on other people's opinions about ourselves. Like we live in our bodies, right? It's common sense. We go through this life. We control our bodies, our hands, our brains, our emotions. Some of us control our own emotions, but we go through life in control of our body. But we're relying on other people's opinions to help us function. And that's dysfunctional, if that makes sense. Right? And everybody fucking does it. I do it, right? Because we want that instant gratification. Like that helps boost our self-esteem. So for example, if you're going somewhere, and women are great at this. You guys love the instant gratification. Is you got a dress, you put a dress on, right? You want somebody to tell you how beautiful you are in that dress, how form-fitting it is, how good you look. Look at them curves, right? You're looking like a tall glass of Granny's iced tea. Look at you, girl. You're doing your thing, right? Man, we want to hear that type of stuff, too. We're not so dependent on it, because we're lazy slobs. And honestly, when it comes to men, the only time we really start like focusing, or two I would say two different like things that happen with men when we really start like buckling down and focusing on like our self-esteem and our self-image is one, when our ladies or our women or somebody that we're courting or interested in starts fawning over other dudes, right? Which I'll never understand this either. Like this is always bothering me. Like you have a guy, and I always get sidetracked, but you have a guy, on TV, right? or let's start with your guy. Your guy is, going to the gym, guy's out of shape. He's not in the best shape. He's out of shape, but he's trying to go to the gym. He's trying to get better. He's trying to lift some weights and do a couple different things, man, to improve his life, man. A lady will not say 2 fucking words to him. She won't say, hey, I'm proud of you. Look at you. You're looking good. You're getting some muscle on you. You're building, honestly, it's the opposite. They get mad. They get upset. And I don't know if this is some type of like fucking internal turmoil that women go through. Maybe they're scared that a guy's gonna improve himself and leave them, because it probably happens a lot. But they won't compliment their own dude, but they'll see a fucking guy. They'll see a guy on TV, right? And one of those little TV shows y'all be watching, hey, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Them little saucy TV shows y'all be watching, man. Dude coming there with his fucking shirt off, ripped, diced to the socks, stomach like a fucking cutting board, right? Y'all be going crazy. Y'all be fucking texting like Kermit. Hey girl, did you see so and so? Did you see how he looked? Oh my girl, da 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 da. Meanwhile, Benny over here is fucking sweating in sauna suits, fucking starving himself to death so he can get just a shadow of a 6-pack. That's fucking wild, man. That's wild. Y'all need to stop doing that, man. Y'all need to stop doing that. Well, anyways, I digress. Back to Patricia. So when you think about it, it's crazy, man. Like, we depend on other people's opinions to give us self-validation, and that's always to me, when it comes to specifically self-esteem, right, is always the first mistake that we make, right? And really, when you really think about it, a lot of the low self-esteem issues that derive from men and from women come from other people, right? You can just be hanging out with some people, and somebody can say something in passing, and we have to be very aware of what we say out of our mouths, especially to other people, because it may not affect us a certain way, but it could be traumatic to somebody else. But, for example, you're just hanging out, friends, having a good time, and somebody could be like, oh man, you're getting fat, right? And they won't even think about it again for the rest of the day. They'll have a little laugh or whatever, the conversation will finish. But you carry that, man. You carry that shit. Like, fuck. Now you're at home, in the mirror and grabbing your stomach and looking at different angles and taking pictures. And, oh, am I fat? Am I really fat? Oh, there's no way I'm fat. We're not even talking about more dramatic fucking avenues where people are like getting into like anorexia and bulimia and things like that. Those are, mental issues, but, some of those actually stem from just other people's perception of us that we rely on, right? Because, and it's not always a negative thing, I guess, Sometimes you, like I said about self-gratification or instant gratification, you want to hear that, right? You want to hear somebody say, and it's nice to hear compliments. You want somebody to say you look nice. You want somebody to say, you look good. But there's always 2 sides of that coin. You know what I mean? If somebody say you look good, they can also say you look bad. You got a shape. Specifically, one time for me, right? And I just, not maybe a couple years ago, I graduated high school, right? And this story I'm talking about. And I totally stopped going to the gym. I stopped going to the gym. I stopped working out. I stopped lifting. And my clothes are getting tighter. But like, for some reason in my mind, and I don't know why, but for some reason in my mind, I felt like I was getting buffer and stronger, right? And now that I reflect back on it in hindsight, there's no way. Like, there's no way I'm sitting around eating fucking Wendy's all day, but I'm getting buffer and stronger. But anyway, so I was just standing outside, right? And I saw somebody from high school. And, I think I'm a personable person. So, we start talking like, hey, man, how's it going? This fucking guy was like, man, damn, bro, you got fat as shit. And I was like, I kind of looked at him like, what are you talking about, bro? He said, man, you got fat as hell, bro. How'd you get so fat? And, like, my mind could not comprehend what this guy was fucking telling me. Like, what is this? Is this dude sick? Is he okay? What is he talking about, man? I'm the fucking superior male specimen, right? No fucking 6-pack. No, just like a tubby teddy bear, right? Just a fucking teddy bear covered in cinnamon. And I don't know, man. We finished our conversation and went on our separate ways and wished each other good luck. But I carried that, man. I carried that the whole entire day, like, man, you know. And it didn't really hit me until, and this was a past relationship, but I was putting together a Christmas tree, and this female individual took a picture of me trying to like assemble this Christmas tree, and I saw the picture, man. I was like, whew, sheesh. I was out of shape, man. I was out of shape. I think I was pushing 270, right? 270. That's, and I'm only 6 foot, so I'm not necessarily that tall. So 270 on a shorter guy, man, that's some LBSs, my boy. That's some poundage, right? So, and when I seen that, man, that broke me down, man. That broke me down, and I went ahead and got my fat self back in the gym at that point. But again, going back full circle to that self-esteem issue is that we're too reliant on other people's opinions. We let too many people's opinions construct our ideals of self-esteem, right? And it gives us low self-esteem a lot. So we have to, not only be aware of what we say to people, we have to be aware of what we receive from people. Because if we let people's negativity or their opinions, sometimes it might not even be said in a negative sense, right? And a lot of people, like I said, don't comprehend that. They'll just say something in passing, and then they'll go on about their day, but that person will carry it, right? But we have to be careful what we let in, right? We have to be careful about letting people's opinions dictate our emotions, right? I think that's the perfect way to put it. But at the same time, you have to be willing to accept constructive criticism if you're seeking that, right? If you're going out for that instant gratification like we spoke about, or wanting people to say something positive about you, you have to be able to accept that negativity that they're going to give you, right? Okay, so another part of the email, you were saying, like, is there any exercises or any like different things that when I say you, I mean I would recommend. Honestly, there's a few things. Few things when it comes to self-esteem is, one, like I just told you, being careful of how we let people's emotions and opinions dictate how we feel about ourselves, right? And another thing is like what we do before the show, affirmations. And I know like they can seem corny, and I'm not telling you to go out in fucking public and just like, everybody look at me, everybody look at what I'm about to say. No, I mean, it's something simple. You can do it when you're brushing your teeth. You can do it, wherever. Just say some positive things about yourself. Don't just say positive. This is the important key about this exercise, okay? Don't just say positive things that you don't really believe, right? Try to, I mean, it's good. Listen, don't get me wrong. It's good to say positive things, but try to focus on things that you really believe, right? So if you're a good person, you believe you're a good person, say that. Hey, you're a good person, because you believe that. You can invest into that because there's substance there because you believe in it, right? If you think you're attractive, say, hey, you're handsome, you're beautiful. Say positive. Try to stay along the line of saying things when you're doing your affirmations that you believe and that you have substance in, right? I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with saying other things that you don't believe, right? But those things have less attachments, right? Because you're not invested into those things. But if you work on saying things that you really truly believe, then you have more investment in those type of things, right? So that to me, that's a big thing. Is it just constantly saying good positive things out of your mouth about yourself, right? About your character, about your physical appearance, about just anything about you, things that you do good on a daily basis, things that you've done good on a daily basis. And that brings us back to, and I told you guys, I always hammer this, man. I hammer this and I hammer this, but laying that one perfect brick, man, waking up every morning, not trying to tackle the whole wall at once, but take that one perfect brick, whatever it is, your diet, your work, your family, whatever you decide that day is your brick. Taking that and just trying to lay it as perfectly as possible, right? And doing that every single day and every single day and every single day till you're able to build a wall that you're proud of, right? That's super, 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 super important. Okay? So that's my first piece of advice, or second piece of advice for that. Another piece of advice is you actually have to do something about it, right? I think a lot of us stop at the second part. We do the affirmations. We say, oh yeah, positive things, but we don't act on it. And that brings us back to when you're saying stuff about yourself, or you're saying these affirmations about yourself, having substance or something that you actually believe, because it's easier to act on something that you believe than not acting on something that you don't believe, if that makes sense. So simple thing, like if you love America, like I love America, I love America, I love America, 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 America. You never take my guns. Like if you believe in that passionately, like it's easy to act on that, right? It's easy to be a patriot. It's easy to fucking, go to different causes and rallies and vote certain type of ways and things like that, because you have substance tied to it, right? You believe in it. So you have to be able to act on what you believe in, right? If you believe that you can get in shape, if you really like say it, but you believe like I can do this, I can get in shape, I can work out, then it'll be easier for you to attack that wall, that part of the wall, right? So we have to get more balanced on acting on what we believe in, right? Because it's easy to say. You can say anything. I'm a millionaire. I'm broke as shit, right? But once we start saying these things, we have to start acting on those things, right? It's not just enough to say them, right? Like I was telling you guys, and I don't remember what episode it was, about Kai Green, and one of his biggest mantras is thoughts become things, and that's true. You have to think it, you have to work on it, you have to work towards it. Even if it's something small, like for your example, Patricia, you're saying that you feel fat and ugly, right? Which is this sounds terrible coming out, right? But like let's just look at the out of shape part, the fat part, right? That's something that you can control. That's something that you can control. I know some people have medical issues, and you didn't say in the email that you may have had medical issues, but some people do have medical issues. But if you don't, if you're able-bodied, if you are able to get out of the bed or get out of wherever and go work out, you can control that. You also can control what you ingest, into your body, right? It's very easy to act on these type of things, like get a diet plan, right? There's hundreds of them. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. There's hundreds of them. Get you a diet plan. Start acting on it. Don't go crazy. Like I said, don't try to do the whole wall at once. Do one perfect brick. Like, okay, I'm gonna cut out soda pop. I'm gonna cut out junk food, or I'm gonna walk for an hour. I find that to honestly be one of the most therapeutic things you can do for weight loss. Honestly, 100% is walking. You walk, and you may have heard this before, but you walk, for an hour, listen to a podcast, or, like some music, a book on tape, whatever. And before you know it's over, man, you burn like fucking 300-400 calories, right? And that's another thing. I wouldn't try to focus or get too in depth about like macros and micros and all that shit. Once you become more invested and do the small things, lay the ground foundation, you can get more into that. But just start by making small choices, Patricia. Start by doing little things, right? Little tiny breaks. That's my break noise, right? And then guess what? Those affirmations that you say in the morning, you'll start to become more invested because they'll have more substance. If that makes sense to you. You're starting out saying those things, now you're believing them, Now you're seeing, positive reinforcement. Oh, hey, you know what? You're in great shape. Boom, you're seeing yourself lose weight. You're seeing the scale go down. You're seeing your clothes fit better. You're seeing your self-esteem. Boom, 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 skyrocket. And that's how you gotta attack those different things, right? Especially when it comes to self-esteem. Like I said, don't rely on other people's opinions about you to help construct how you feel about yourself. That's one of the most important ones. Fuck people's opinions about you, right? If they think you're ugly, fuck what they're talking about. They don't live in your body. They don't know how you look at yourself, right? If they think you're out of shape and overweight or a fat slob or a soup sandwich or whatever, like who cares? That's just their opinion, right? But you have to be careful of letting that opinion shape who you are, especially if you're looking for that instant gratification. If you're out there seeking other people's approval, because people do it a lot. Like they have like Instagrams and they have these social media sites that they show off all day long with their bodies, and you always got people in the comments saying crazy shit to them. And you can see how it affects them because they start getting surgeries and cutting up things and changing things, trying to fit this narrative that somebody else is creating for them, which is wild. So you have to be careful with that. 100% you got to be careful with that, right? Second thing, we're recapping here. Second thing is that you have to be positive about yourself. You gotta invest in something with substance when it comes to your health, or it comes to how you look, how you feel. There's always something that you can do to make you feel better. And once you find that substance, latch onto it and work on it, build on it, right? Because you'll be more invested. And then the last thing is act. We have to act on these things. All these things that we say, we do, all these things that we believe, we have to act on them, right? It's not just enough to think it and believe it. We have to have some type of positive reinforcement, right? We have to do something that's going to give us the result to make us, believe more in those things that we're investing our time in, right? This is the blueprint, man. I'm giving you guys fucking open your little sacks, your little Halloween sacks, and just catch all these diamonds. I'm throwing all these diamonds, man. Catch them. But you know what, Patricia? You're gonna be okay, man. You're gonna be okay. I promise you. One important thing that I think we have to remember, this is everybody, is that especially when it comes to like weight and health, you didn't put it all on in 2 days, right? Or overnight. So you're not going to remove it all in one night. It's a process. And you have to, and this is going to sound crazy, but you have to fall in love with the process. You have to. That's the only way you're going to be able to stick to it. You have to fall in love with the process. You have to make friends with it. There's going to be days you don't want to get up and go fucking work out, right? There's going to be so many days that you don't want to eat another chicken breast or baked fish or a fucking head of broccoli or whatever you're eating or whatever. You're not going to want to do that shit. I mean, it's important to take cheat days, but fucking come on now. We're not talking about rock cheat days. We're talking about overcoming those fucking social constructs that other people put on us, investing time in ourselves, and going out and acting on it, man. We can't be weak, guys. We got to start getting some mental fortitude here, right? And you're gonna be okay, Patricia. I promise you. You're gonna be fine. One, you're looking for advice, which tells me anytime someone's looking for advice, and not just from me, from anybody, they're seeking a solution for whatever problem they feel like they have. And like I said in the beginning, man, it's good to get other people's perspective on things, right? I'm not saying other people's opinions. There's a big difference, but their perspectives on things, like, what they think. Someone giving you an opinion about something is something that they personally feel. Like, you can't give me an opinion about me, unless I ask for that, right? That instant gratification. And like I said, if you ask for that, then you have to accept what comes along with that. So if you can say, hey, for example, hey, what do you think I look like? And they'll be like, oh, you ugly as shit. That's rapsy scapsy, baby. You asked for that, right? But if we're not asking for people's opinions and people are just being assholes, it's freedom of speech. We can't do anything about that. We can let them know about themselves. Like, hey, man, I don't fucking care about what you're talking about, but we have to be careful. We don't carry that around. And you need to check your friendships, Patricia. You need to check your circle. Your circle might be square. You might have people in your circle that's making you feel this way. You might. It's okay to admire somebody, and we're talking about when it comes to like fitness, because I did this a lot too growing up. You'll see somebody, and instead of you admiring somebody, you'll be envious of them, right? Like, damn, this dude's in fucking great shape, or this woman's in fantastic shape. I'll never get there. I'll never be able to do that. That's harmful to yourself. But admiring somebody, like, man, this person is like in great shape. I'm using this person as motivation. right? We have to do stuff like that. Check your circle, Patricia. Go find people like that are positive and they're willing to help you and give you tips and just make you feel good, right? You know, show you the way instead of just beating you fucking down. Showing you the way. Stop letting people piss you off, man. Stop letting people drag you into the fucking mud. Because in reality, those people, man, they think about that. They live like that. They literally live. They thrive off other people's opinions. They're the same people that are giving you low self-esteem issues are the same fucking people. If you said something like that to them, they would crumble. They'd kill themselves. What do you mean my nose is crooked? I don't look like Owen Wilson. That was too far. I shouldn't have done that. Guess what? It's time for another ASMR. Brought to you by Danny D and Daddy Issues Podcast. So right now, I'm drinking some water with an IV packet in it. Lemon lime. Listen. Alright guys, that's my time. Patricia, I hope I answered your email. I tried to answer it to the best of my abilities. Guys, don't forget to interact with the poll. Tell me what you think about the overall podcast, the episode. What's your favorite episode? What you would like to hear? You can always just put questions down there, man. We started a YouTube, which is Daddy Issues Podcast. And that's where we're going to be uploading our live video podcast. So you can go check that out. We're also going to be adding just the raw audio version to this on our Spotify and different podcast outlets. So you don't have to watch me or look at me. You don't have to just watch me, you little creeper, unless you want to. Hey, unless you want to. But I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys listening and giving me your ear. Don't forget to give Patricia some information. Send emails if you guys have something specifically to say to her. Drop it in the comments, man. Let's be positive, guys. Let's not get crazy, right? I know some of you motherfuckers, y'all get wild, man. Y'all some wild boys and girls. But again, guys, thanks again. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think, and make sure that you listen to my shit, man. Share my shit. Listen to it. Because y'all starting to make me mad. Y'all making me mad a little bit. I'm just joking, guys. I love you, man. Until next time, thanks for tuning into the podcast.